continue. Social media influencers or individuals promoting retail brands to their online audience are encouraged to report taxable income that they receive as digital marketing continues to expand. Online influencers are emerging as key economic drivers and cashing in on substantial earnings, meaning that the taxman must receive his portion, or else failure to comply might lead to penalties and some instances jail time. Luncedo Mtwentwe joining me now, Direct Advantage Advisory, to shed some more light. Luncedo, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. How big is this industry? I mean, are they making a killing?
Good evening, Mr. Mjeli. Great to be here. Look, you have seen as well. I mean, for the past 5 years, this sector has really grown heavily, and some of the latest reports that have picked up this year. Look, we are sitting at close to 500 million rands. That is the value that they're contributing to the economy of South Africa. And we know that in the next 5 years, their contribution to the economy will be close to R1 billion. So it's a new economy, or it's a new sector, it's a new stream of where people are really making careers out of the social media platforms that are out there. So we have to take it very serious.
Social media platforms have come with a number of challenges. I mean, not so long ago, we were talking, for example, around reposting and the legal implications of that, or false information, the legal implications of that. The legal fraternity had to catch up to kind of come up with laws to be able to accommodate this new space where everything is reported and things are happening. Is it similar when it comes to tax laws? Are tax laws almost catching up to what is happening?
We are living in a digital age. Look, you have to understand that our taxation laws in South Africa, they work on a voluntary basis. But we have started to see on day-to-day basis, I must say, Mr. Mjeli, people really coming to us, Advantage Advisory, to assist them with their taxes as a result of the fact that, look, AI has started to kick in. South African Revenue Services is really exploring as much as they can to use AI to consolidate the information that will be declared by the taxpayers. So we're in a situation again where you're picking up this crypto as well that is coming up, and SARS is really coming in close to say, how do we monitor all of these, new technology industries that are coming that traditionally were not there. So it is the same that SARS is really starting to zoom in all of these new industries that are coming in.
Is it something that's easier to track? I mean, I've seen, at least in the last couple of days, some screenshots doing the rounds, for example, on a platform like X to say, hey, this month, this is how much I would have made. Is that something that SARS is able to track and monitor, and therefore it could certainly land one in trouble?
Yeah, so it's so easy. As I said, look, social media by its own nature is digital, right? And you can pick up all the campaigns that a particular person has had just in one financial year, right? And it becomes easy as well to say, look, we noticed that you advertised a particular product. For sure, there was either an income that you would have received in relation to that. So it's one of those that will be very, very much easier to track. So that's why it's very important that the social media influencers have to be aware in terms of their obligation, the tax obligations that they have. It's not a matter of saying, no, but I don't have a business. The taxation laws are clear. The moment you generate an income as a taxpayer, you have to declare that.
Yeah.
So it's not only just someone who is working full-time employment where they get taxed, but if you have any additional income or trade that you are pursuing, you have to declare that on your tax return at the end of the day. So it's something that is going to be very, very much easier for SARS to really look at and consolidate, compare the numbers that you are submitting to what basically they will have.
In terms of guidance, does SARS look at you as an individual taxpayer or as an entity paying tax, and does that have different implications?
Number one, SARS, when I look at taxpayer, you come as an individual taxpayer, even though you have business. The business is a separate legal entity on its own. You as an individual as well, you are still a separate taxpayer. Same as you are working at Newsroom Africa. However, there's still other campaigns that you're involved in. And it is expected then that you are able or you should declare that additional income that you are making on the other side compared to what is being declared every month by your employer. So in that particular case, to answer your question directly, SARS looks at you directly as an individual taxpayer, same as they look at the business as a separate legal entity on its own. But again, if you have a business, then as a director, you end up being responsible for those operations. You will have to answer for some of the affairs that are happening in your company.
Local influencers have direct, I suppose, interaction with local brands, but there are also local influencers with direct interaction with international brands, and that is paid using different currencies. How does that work?
Yeah. Now, the fundamentals in terms of the Income Tax Act. So the taxation in South African income tax is really legislated under Income Tax Act. And the Income Tax Act is clear that if you are a resident in South Africa, you are taxed on your worldwide income sources, right? So it's important as well, as much as you are being paid by a Chinese entity using the dollar, you have to be able to declare that to South African Revenue of Service to say, I was paid X amount of dollars by this particular entity. Here's an amount that I am declaring. Therefore, it depends as well sometimes if South Africa now has agreements with those countries where you're not double taxed. But if you're not taxed by that entity that is outside of the country, then you have to declare and you will pay tax here in South Africa, even though the amount of money is emanating from another country, because you are a South African resident.
I appreciate your time. Be what? Influencers, there are tax implications to your earnings and certain